Goes on to his 7th lap, and again he, like most others, may decide to come in, or if he feels the car has got the grip, and that is not for Jacques in his trouble. He is a big, heavy impact on the exit of Estoril. The camera was knocked off the car, and that was sideways virtually. There you see the car. A red flag will be brought out because that car is in a dangerous place. That marshal, courageous to get into the middle of the track to take the wheel and suspension from the car, but Villeneuve let the car run wide on Estoril. The red flag, it is out. The session has been stopped. You can see the weight of the impact that car had with the tyre barrier, but what a good job the tyre barrier did. It prevented any injury whatsoever to the young Canadian. He's out of his car, across the track on the far side. Now he will have been winded, he will be stiff and sore. Let's watch what happened. He just let the car run too wide over the curb. The bottom of the car begins to raise the car off the ground. Whether he's off the throttle or not, we can't tell, but there you see how much loss of control Villeneuve got himself into, and that was a very, very high-speed incident indeed. Spray of fuel coming back out of the air intakes and around, and that's some of it's water as well, because the radiators and their joints have been impaired. So the session has been brought to a halt with 31 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. Villeneuve totally unhurt. He can get back to the pitch. There is a spare car available. Whether it's prepared for him or not, we don't know. But that car, his race car, will need some very serious attention this evening.
Well, it's good to see he's out of the car safely. That's the main thing, and you can see he's even got a smile on his face, waving at the crowd, and the medical car there to check him over as quickly as possible. But I think they should be able to give him a lift back to the pits, John, and as you say, perhaps get him out in the spare car.
You know, I was just talking about his neck and the shoulders. Let's watch again what happens. The car, he lets it get out a little too early, but he tries to drive through it. Then suddenly, over the curve, the car at this point is beyond his control. He's hanging on, praying that the seduction of that tyre wall is not going to be successful. His prayers went unanswered. That car may not even be fit to run tomorrow's Grand Prix.
Yes, it depends on whether it's damaged the monocoque, the central structure of the car. Perhaps they can withstand amazing impacts, and sometimes it's just the suspension that gets ripped off. Just look at the way it bounced over the end of the gravel there, and then he was just a passenger, as you say, John. He didn't take his hands off the wheel, I noticed, and we often see the more experienced drivers right at the last minute taking their hands off just to prevent their wrists perhaps getting broken as the steering wheel whips around.
Well, the danger in an incident like that for a driver is the wrist, and in particular a tiny little bone called the scaphoid, and it's one of those small bones that's very... Oh, and look how fortunate. Well, we didn't see that angle. That was David Coulthard. That was almost tragedy here at MagnyCours. Luckily, a racing driver, when he sees something like that happening, he is well prepared. But nonetheless, that was a close call, and much closer than I would have cared to have seen.
Yes, and when you consider that's one of the highest speed sections of the circuit, then for Coulthard to react, to get onto the grass on the inside there, and thankfully, even though we've had some rain this weekend, the grass not that wet and slippery that he got into trouble through it.
So, going back to Jacques Villeneuve, what I was going to say was that he woke up on Friday morning with a cricked neck, and he's been getting treatment on his neck from the team physio to try and just release the pressure on the nerve. But I tell you,